Hi, this is Joseph Anthony of tappingwithmusic.com. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are in part 3 of a little mini-series on Chapter 10, Discover the Wonder of Giving, from Eric Butterworth's wonderful book, Spiritual Economics, The Prosperity Process. And the last couple of videos we've talked about what it means to give and moving from being a taker to a giver. And now Butterworth is going to talk a little bit about jobs and vocations and that kind of thing. And then we'll wrap it up for now. One of the most significant phrases in the Bible is wait on the Lord. Several references in Proverbs and Psalms. Comes from the Hebrew word quava. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I hope I did. Which means to bind together. Thus, to wait on the Lord does not mean to sit down and fold your hands in faith that God will do it all for you. The fact is, God can do no more for you than He can do through you. It is not inaction or procrastination. Wait on the Lord means to get yourself integrated in consciousness with the divine flow. It is so very important before undertaking any project to wait on the Lord in a conscious prayer experience in which you turn your thoughts inward and establish yourself in the flow of the creative process. It is an important moment, God's moment, before you go to work or before you set yourself to finding a job. Just become very still, centered. Sense the creative energy of spirit tingling in your fingertips, guiding your hands, directing your footsteps, putting words into your mouth, helping you to do the things that need to be done, to do them easily and to do them well. Now, that sounds easy, doesn't it? One thing I want to say here in my commentary is, I don't believe he's talking about a feeling to sit and meditate and pray and hope you feel God's creativity or creative energy of spirit tingling in your fingertips. You might consciously try to bring that sensation about, but the process of feeling that you are one with that divine flow, you may not feel that in terms of an emotion or a great sense of bliss or oneness. Do it anyway. The very act of sitting and doing that is an expression of your oneness. And if you have the experience where you do that and you're not getting ideas, you're still not sure where to go, what to do, nothing necessarily wrong with your meditation or your prayer, just means that it's a big thing you're doing, whatever it is you're doing. And that's why we need each other. That's why we need mentors. Going around thinking that everything I say or speak is divinely inspired is quite hazardous, especially in my case where I can be egotistical and all that. Probably everyone's case. So we need each other to run our ideas by. Here's what I think my intuition is saying. What do you think? Doesn't mean it invalidates it or anything like that. But run it by a mentor. Make sure you're on the right track. That too is part of the divine process as far as I'm concerned. The mind groups, right? I forget the name of them all of a sudden. These groups where we get together with like-minded individuals to help each other grow. That organic community is part of the divine expression. I can sit in prayer and meditation to develop my conscious contact with the divine and trust intuitively that my steps are being guided and my words are being spoken that I can, in such a way where I can help do what I need to do. Doesn't mean I have to do it quote-unquote alone in terms of not consulting other people. My filter, where that intuition is coming through, is still developing and cleansing and growing. And so the divine flow is going to be filtering through self-centered motivations, fears, anxieties, greed, lust, envy. All those things are going to be there. And so I have to be very careful in this process. And that's where other people come into play. Now, continuing on with this theme of this type of meditation, the first thing that will happen if you do this meditation is that you will forget that there is a reward dangling before you for the work you do. You will no longer be working for money. You will be paid, of course, but it will be an added compensation for doing the thing you love to do. You will have a strong urge to do all that you can to the utmost of your skill. There isn't a job in all the world that can't be done better than it is being done when the worker changes his attitude about it. And no one is doing right by himself or his employer if he simply rocks along, going through the motions of doing his work. If you want to work for the kind of consciousness that will maintain you in the giving flow, begin every day with the commitment, I will do what I do better and better and better, and I will do more and more of what I do. Now, I love that, and it's also a little word of caution there, right? I don't think he's suggesting to appreciate your work, to not appreciate your work. I don't think he's suggesting never to take a break. I think what he's suggesting is when you come from a place of wanting to give your life away in a healthy way, as an expression of your loves, the money's important. Having a paycheck's all good. But you'll be doing it because it's what you love to do. And I think that's a pretty big distinction there, doing the thing you love to do. Some of us are stuck in jobs we don't like. I think he's suggesting that no matter what it is you're doing, if you come from an attitude of being consciously one with the divine process, of giving your life away as an expression of divine creativity, then no matter what you're doing, you will simply do it better and want to do it better. You can enjoy your achievements, you can take a break, and while you may want to do more and more of what you love to do, have what you love to do be pausing to smell the roses. That's also part of the divine expression, knowing when to rest. When you understand this principle, this life principle, you will know that there is a wellspring of life, substance and intelligence within you, and that yours is the privilege at any time of giving way to its flow. It may lead to one of the most important realizations that will ever come to you. If ever there is a lack of any kind, whether it is a need for employment or for money or for guidance or for even healing, something is blocking the flow. And the most effective remedy, give, you may be thinking. But I need to receive. My hands are empty. I need someone to give to me. But you see, under the law of giving, look for some way to start that giving flow. Make a commitment to some kind of giving. Not a bargain with God, for that is a kind of pious procrastination. Okay, God, if you do this, then I'll do so-and-so. But you do it first. Rather, make a covenant with yourself. It could be a thank offering to a place from which you have been receiving spiritual help. It could be greater work giving in your work. It could be doing something for another person who is in need. It could even be simply giving away some seldom used possession. Something's got to give. It is so easy to get down in consciousness from the desperate need to receive. You might even think, when I demonstrate the supply, then I'll send the gift to the church. But why not give now? And if there is no money, go down to the church and volunteer your services. If you are unemployed, get into the giving flow by giving your services to some community activity. Or offer to help some young person who may be struggling in a new business enterprise. Or just stay home and keep your hands and mind involved in creative activity. Take some time to go through your attic and closets and drawers to find all the seldom used or never used possessions that can bless someone richly. Derive a great thrill and spiritual fulfillment by giving. There is never a time when you can't find some way to start the giving flow, which in turn will open the way to the receiving of your good. Jesus clearly articulated the divine law. Give, and it will be given unto you. The divine flow requires one thing of you: your consent to be a receiving channel. It is like the water faucet that must be opened to the flow in order that the water may pour forth freely. Jesus was stressing the need to get into a giving consciousness in order to sustain the flow of good into your life. He did not mean simply money giving. Often the religious book or teacher will talk out of a self-interest and insist that the giving must go to the church. The giving is a state of consciousness that may eventuate in many different ways. But the important thing is, think give. Say to yourself, I will think give today. I will think give every day of my life. The law is clear. It promises, think give, and you will get. It is a fundamental key to achieving prosperity. Now, it's a lot I just read there. Some people take umbrage to this idea, to even thinking that this is a law, that you give, you will get. Oh, your motives are self-centered if you're really giving just to get. Again, Butterworth is not saying that. He's just saying, be conscious that it is a law. And if you're feeling a lack in your life of health, money, happiness, give to someone else. That unlocks the flow. It releases the water to flow freely. The prosperity consciousness is often just geared towards getting. But the giving consciousness is geared towards making your life and the lives of those around you better, happier, funner, more prosperous. And in doing so, you will gain and get everything you want. The word prosper, I did a little study on it, and it comes from the Latin, and it means to render happy, to cause to succeed. And I love that definition from the old Latin. To render happy, to cause to succeed. When I'm successful, when I'm happy, it's because I'm helping render the success and happiness of another person. It's a law. And I love that Butterworth really hits it home with, you know, there's sometimes a victim mentality that we can fall into. I don't have any money, so I can't give. I don't have any talents, I can't give. There's always something we can give, even if it's just a mite or a little talent. A single coin, if we want to just talk about money. But then he says, you know, go through your house. Clear out the things you don't use or rarely use. Give them to someone else you know who will appreciate them. Give of your time. Give of your strength, the sweat of your brow. And I also love that he says, it's also giving to stay home and keep your hands and mind involved in creative activity. When I write my stories or write my songs, I am giving. Certainly when I share those words and songs with you on YouTube and in my concerts and on my blog and all that, I'm definitely giving. There are times when it's okay to sit and think. Take time to breathe. That's creativity. To recharge the batteries, to sleep, to treat your body well. All that plays into the consciousness of giving. And we're going to stop in just a moment here. A truly giving consciousness is the creative alternative to the current emphasis on winning through intimidation or succeeding through positive selfishness. It is the better way. And a committed giver is an incurably happy person, a secure person, a satisfied person, and a prosperous person. When you discover the wonder of giving, you will wonder how you could have lived so long in any other way. It is the key that makes truth work, that opens the door to the good you have been seeking. And that gives life that added glow. It can be one of the greatest discoveries of your life. When you become a committed giver, you can no more go back to the old way of living than you can go back to life in prehistoric times. There's a new world awaiting you, a new level of life that can open to you, a new experience of the dynamism of truth that you have been studying. Discover the wonder of giving. It is the better way. And the day will come when you will insist that it is the only way. So, he's saying you can be happy all the time. I don't believe that's just an emotion. It's an attitude toward life. If I understand that my life is a gift, and my job is to continuously unwrap that gift for the benefit of myself, for the enjoyment of myself, and for the benefit and enjoyment of the world. I hope you found this very helpful, and if you have any questions or would like any mentoring about this giving consciousness or any other issues, or want to do some tapping about it, go to tappingwithmusic.com, my website, and drop me a line. I'll be happy to work with you however I can. Thank you so much for listening to part 3 of this little 3-part series on giving based on Eric Butterworth's teachings. This is Joseph Anthony saying so long for now.